Supplements. Oftentimes, people place way too much value on them, but sometimes, other times, they can actually be game changers. Now, in today's episode, we're not going to talk about the supplements you probably already heard about, like creatine, for example. It's a real popular one. We're going to talk about the most underrated supplements, ones that people just don't consider but should probably take. And this is based on data, and the data shows many people benefit. Let's get it.
The overlooked class.
I bet most people couldn't or wouldn't guess even two of these on the list.
Yeah.
One of them,
maybe one of them.
Yeah,
I could.
But the rest of them, I wouldn't have even seen you putting on this list. So this will be interesting to watch you explain each of these because. And are you going to go in order? Because the very first one to me is the one.
It's the only one. Yeah,
this is vitamin D. Vitamin D is the first one. And is it underrated? Maybe still, but it's moving close to like people understand its value. But we should talk about it still. It's an inexpensive supplement.
A lot of people are deficient in it too. So.
Probably 50%. Some studies will show 50% of people are deficient. But if we include people that don't have what is now showing to be optimal vitamin D levels, so when you get your blood tests done, vitamin D, I think the cutoff is like 30 nanograms per deciliter, I believe is the number, right? So under that is deficient. And if you're deficient in vitamin D, that's not good.
No, you
this
feel
is like
that.
Warning zone, like much higher risk of disease, depression, pain, low energy, hormone production. By the way, vitamin D is actually, some people classify it as a hormone because of the way it acts in the body. So that's like warning, okay? If you're below that, you're going to get prescription vitamin D or your doctor's going to say you have to take it. But most people are not what would be considered optimal. And the studies on vitamin D and bringing them to optimal levels are now compiling to the point where you should probably supplement with it. You should probably take vitamin D.
My favorite news about vitamin D that I did not know until just recently was the fact that I could stack it or I could load it.
So you don't have to take it every day.
Carry you, yeah.
I was under the impression that you take 5, maybe 10,000 IUs a day, and that's the most you would want to take or could take. But I didn't know that I could load up on it and say take 50,000 and then not take it for 2 or 3 days versus
or 10 days, right? Because that would be 5,000 a day.
Yeah, and so this for someone like me who has a hard time with being consistent with taking any supplements and taking this little tiny vitamin D pill all the time is just one of those things that I'm inconsistent with. Where now I have it in my bathroom and I forget a few days and then I remember and so I'll take 3 days worth and then I'll forget and then I'll take 3 or 4 days worth again and so I've become way more consistent with taking my vitamin D because of that.
Yeah, if you get prescription vitamin D because they have prescription vitamin D for people who are deficient, they'll typically do that. They'll give you one pill once a week or something like that to get your D levels up quickly. It's fat soluble. That's why it gets stored in the body. I'll read to you guys a recent study, and they just keep compiling. Okay, this was a study on postmenopausal women with breast cancer. Okay, here's what they found: 2,000 IUs a day. Which, by the way, most people 2,000, 4,000 IUs will probably be adequate. Although getting a blood test would be best, so you can know how much you need to take. But these women took 2,000 IUs of vitamin D a day during chemo. This raised complete tumor clearance from the body. Okay, so you're on chemo. The idea with chemo is get the cancer out. It increased the rate of clearance or complete clearance of the body from between 24 to 43%.
Wow.
Just by taking 2,000 IUs of vitamin D a day. And the reason why I love vitamin D, besides its benefits, which I'll go through some other studies, is that it's cheap. Vitamin D3 is dirt cheap. It is one of the least expensive supplements that you'll find, and it probably most likely belongs in your supplement regimen. And here's the interesting thing about vitamin D. You could get a lot of sunlight, but if you have, like me, I'm a little darker complected, it might still not be enough. I always use a story of my father because this one really shocked me. I mean, obviously, I'm same complexion as my father, so we're Sicilian, so darker skin. And my dad was never would I put my dad in the category of someone who's inside too much. Okay, he's always outside. He's outside in his backyard. He's always doing work. He's out in the sun all day long. I mean, my dad's old world, like getting him to do nothing is so difficult. He's always outside. And he had all these strange symptoms of, most of them were pain and low energy, but a lot of pain. He thought it was due to the hard labor that he's done most of his life. And it's like my back's hurting, my knees are hurting, my hips are hurting. I don't know what's going on, taking pain medications, getting CT scans and all kinds of stuff. Finally did a blood test. Oh, your vitamin D is painfully low, which I wouldn't have guessed as someone who works.
I would have thought the opposite.
I totally would have never guessed it. He took, I think it was 50,000 IUs, right out the gates, and then started taking that, I think, once a week, something like that. And his pain dropped significantly, which is crazy. Here's some of the studies that we find that we see with vitamin D. 2019 meta-analysis found that vitamin D supplementation with calcium reduced fracture risk by 15 to 20% in older adults. 15 to 20% just taking a cheap supplement. They didn't do anything else. No strength training, none of that stuff, just that. Another meta-analysis showed vitamin D supplementation reduced acute respiratory infections by 10 to 25%. Another study, this is another meta-analysis, found that 800 to 1,000 IUs a day improved muscle strength and balance in older adults, reducing falls by 19%. Wow. So just took vitamin D, again, cheap, easy, you're not even exercising, and you reduce your risk of falling by 19%.
I feel like respiratory issues are very much on the rise.
Yes.
After COVID and everything else, but like I just hear so many cases of pneumonia and lots of respiratory issues people are dealing with.
Yes. Here's another one. 2018 meta-analysis found 1,000 to 3,000 IUs a day improved depressive symptoms in deficient adults, which is, again, 50% of you probably are. Another one showed that 4,000 IUs a day reduced C-reactive protein by 20% in obese individuals. Easy supplement to take. Underrated. I think it's underrated still because
I think it is.
I know a lot of health, like fitness fanatics.
It's very protective.
They don't consider it, especially if they go outside all the time. Mm-hmm. They're like, I'm okay. But again, the data seems to show now about 50 nanograms per deciliter in your blood is ideal, and most people fall below that, even if they're not deficient. Today's program giveaway is MAPS Strong. If you want to win that program, leave a comment below this video in the first 24 hours that we drop it. Subscribe to this channel, turn on notifications. If you win, we'll let you know in the comments section. We also have a sale this month. MAPS Split and the Anabolic Metabolism bundle of programs. It's all 50% off. Head over to mapsfitnessproducts.com and then use the code July50 for the discount. Back to the show.
Now, can you flip your second one and your third one? Because the third one kind of pairs with this one. And that's something that I think that not a lot of people talk about is taking these together and the benefits of that, correct?
Yes, vitamin K2, which is interesting. So this is, it directs calcium to bones, reduces arterial calcification. Okay, so that means less risk of heart disease and heart attack. In fact, back in do you guys remember the push in the 80s and 90s for women to take calcium?
Oh, yeah.
And what they ended up finding was calcium deposits in the arteries.
Yeah, too much, right?
Yeah, and what it was they weren't taking, they didn't have enough vitamin.
They were so worried about osteoporosis back in the day.
So how does it work again with, like everyone says, if you take that with vitamin D, you should also, is it because of the uptake?
They're synergistic.
Okay.
Yes, they work together in the body. And K2, again, it's one of those, it's one of those underrated, do you know anybody who takes vitamin K2?
I don't.
I take it with my vitamin D. It actually comes together.
That's Mike's Legion. Legion does. Mm-hmm. So his vitamin D pill actually comes with, I think the ideal ratio of vitamin D to K ratio.
Now here's the number of people that are probably, a recent study in 2017 found older adults. The percentage of older adults that were deficient in vitamin K, 97%. 97%.
Wow.
You know where you find vitamin K? The kind that you absorb, by the way, because they'll say, you get vitamin K in leafy greens. You don't absorb it very well. Mm-hmm. You normally will get vitamin K from organ meats and fermented foods. Your gut will produce it, with the microbiome will produce vitamin K. Organ meats is another one. Nobody eats organ meats. So this is, and it's another super cheap
vitamin
supplement.
K helps direct the calcium directly to the bones and teeth.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
It was the one good advice Liver King had.
Yeah. So
Hey, he's in prison right now, right?
yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
He looks bad right
This
now.
is
that.
this is crazy.
Another topic. But
So
Save
again,
save that one.
fermented dairy, organ meats. Now K1 is abundant in leafy greens, but you just don't absorb nearly enough typically from.
wow, I didn't realize that 97% were deficient.
of older adults.
Wow.
Was deficient in vitamin
Interesting.
K. Yeah.
Interesting.
And it's again, these are like when you talk about vitamins and minerals, these are essential for the body. So if you're deficient, your body is dysfunctional. So it's not like other supplements, that can, give you some benefits, some health benefits, an herb or something like that. Like there's no ginseng deficiency.
now
Yeah,
typically,
you can find this in a multivitamin.
I just gonna say, typically in a good multivitamin, you have this. You have
Yes.
both of these.
Yes.
But you have to look for that, I'm sure.
And it's got to be a good 100 micrograms a day is what you typically want. Sometimes what multivitamins do,
There's a little bit of everything.
they'll-
Not very much.
they'll have a lot of like B, a lot of C, and then you look at K2 and it's like,
Or they'll do like the
20
they'll
micrograms.
do like the minimum RDA versus the optimal dose. And
Yeah.
there's certain things like vitamin D, for example. There's an optimal dose, and then there's like the baseline. Mm-hmm. So knowing the difference is probably important.
yes. Another one that a lot of people don't take is NAC, N-acetylcysteine. This is a precursor to glutathione. It supports detoxification, lung health, and mood regulation. There was a 2015 meta-analysis that showed 600 to 1,200 milligrams a day reduced depressive symptoms and aided in thinning the mucus for respiratory health.
Now,
wow.
Now, because it's a precursor to glutathione, do you get the same benefits if I just take glutathione?
Yes, but the problem with glutathione, it's not typically well absorbed. So people inject glutathione.
Well, if we have the
You do
liposomal.
liposomal.
that helps.
packs,
That
but
definitely helps. NAC's cheap.
gross.
Yeah. Say what?
It's gross, but worth it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's got great liver support and mental health benefits with by taking NAC. And I believe was NAC. What was the supplement they tried to ban, Doug, during COVID?
Yeah, it was NAC.
Yeah. So here's the deal. So we talked about respiratory illness. Okay. During COVID, NAC, because it raised glutathione and helped with lung health, there were some studies showing that it really improved outcomes.
Yeah.
Suddenly, regulatory agencies came on NAC, made
right.
Amazon stop selling it.
NAC and glutathione. Well, I guess glutathione wasn't shut out, but that was what they found later. It was like, oh my God, yeah, if we raise our glutathione.
Yes, and NAC was a supplement for like 20 or 30 years. So it's funny they tried to shut it down, which is a little conspiracy theory for you. But for health,
riddled with it.
But for health, it's a good thing.
I don't even know what this next one is.
Berberine?
Yeah.
Yeah, berberine is interesting. Of all the supplements that can improve or that are touted to improve
Sounds like some kind of plaid.
blood sugar.
It's like the brand.
Say what?
The brand.
It's just, yeah.
No, not
Burberry.
Burberry.
No,
or
you're not
whatever
talking
it is.
about that. No, talking berberine.
Sorry.
So of all the supplements that tout the ability to improve insulin sensitivity or lower your fasting glucose, berberine is the only one in the data to show it actually makes a difference.
So I'm assuming that's in all those.
Well, they better have it.
So
in there.
like what's the popular like carb one? There's like a carb supplement. I forget what it's called.
Oh God, I think you're talking about ones that try to block. They try to
Yes.
convert it to
Would it
different
most likely have this?
It should, if you're looking at, so we've had, continual glucose monitors have now been available to the average person for a little while. And I remember when we had, I forgot who it was on our show that was an expert. There was a dietitian that used these with their patients. And
The girl from the glucose monitor company,
yeah,
right?
I can't remember the name.
I know it's slipping me right now.
Nutrisense.
Nutrisense.
Yeah.
And
what was her name though? Heather or
Maybe Doug will, let's get that, Doug.
What
while
was
we're
it?
talking.
Cara?
Yeah.
Cara.
So what they found when I asked her, is there any supplements that you notice that'll change somebody's fasting glucose? She was like, not really. Berberine is the only one. So here's what studies will show. 500 milligrams 3 times a day with food will reduce fasting glucose. This is in studies by 7% in type 2 diabetes. That's you don't find many natural compounds that'll do that.
So explain who this is most beneficial to then, and in what cases. Because like you or I,
if it improves your insulin sensitivity, everybody benefits from it. Everybody's going to benefit from it. If you're somebody with fasting glucose that is starting to get in that pre-diabetes, stage, and you're like, then use it. Then you should use it on a regular basis. So, Doug, you brought up cinnamon.
Yeah, it's shown to help reduce fasting glucose.
But berberine is like seems to be the gold standard when it comes to that. So next we have glycine. This is an amino acid that is high, I know, in like certain proteins. I think collagen protein, if I'm not mistaken. Glycine on an empty stomach before bed, the data is showing has really beneficial effects for sleep. Which is really, really cool. There was a 2017 study that found that glycine improved sleep latency and reduced daytime fatigue. And again, there's very few supplements you can take that help with sleep that don't also simultaneously maybe either make you groggy or you wake up, not feeling so
interesting.
great.
I actually did find it interesting that you didn't put this under underrated, and maybe that's because it is talked a little bit more about it. I thought magnesium would have made it to this list.
Yeah, it could. I don't know if it's still considered underrated, although I think it's kind of popular now.
Yeah, and interesting that Mellow doesn't have glycine, does it? Because I would think that would be a great pair with the magnesium.
I know they have GABA and they have magnesium. I'm not sure if they have glycine. I take glycine with whatever I take before I go to bed.
Oh, okay.
It's cheap.
That's something I would love to try.
Yeah, it's super cheap, by the way.
Yeah, actually, Bioptimizers has it in their sleep formula.
Yep.
They have glycine and theanine as well as some other things, and it works great.
Ooh, I wonder if I combine that with taking my Mellow, I would get like a
That's what I do.
Really?
Yeah, I take 3 grams.
I'm going to try
Super inexpensive supplement. On an empty stomach, you want to take it.
Okay.
Yeah, if you take it with food, then the other amino acids change. It doesn't have the
It
same
would be
effect.
most likely 2 hours after dinner.
That's empty stomach.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll totally work.
Okay.
This episode's brought to you by Masszymes. These are digestive enzymes for fitness fanatics. What do? Well, you take them with your food. They help break down your protein into amino acids, your fats into fatty acids, or carbohydrates into glucose that you can use, helps digestion, gets that food to where it needs to go. It's especially valuable for those of you on a high-protein diet. Try them out. Go to masszymes.com. That's MASSZYMES.com/mindpump. Use the code mindpump10. Get a discount. Back to the show. Next up, we have choline. Choline is, I've heard experts say that choline should be reclassified as an essential nutrient because of its effects on cognition and brain health. So when you look at studies with like
improves
babies,
your IQ, right? In kids.
Yes, when you look at studies with children, and they show them eating eggs, whole eggs, and there's an improvement in their cognitive function.
That's what they're measuring, the choline. I remember that study. There's a study that they did that, right? And they showed a huge improvement with 1 egg a day or something. Was it something like that? Was it a study?
Yes. And choline, 500 to 2,000 milligrams a day is what you want to take. By the way, the studies show that about 90% of people don't get enough choline. So a vast majority of people won't get enough choline.
Now, is that okay? What if you were somebody that eats quite a bit of eggs or eggs every day?
You probably get enough. Doug, how much choline is in 1 egg? Let's look at that.
This was only really like promoted with pregnancy, right? Like they're trying to steer. Yeah.
That's in the prenatal. I think
choline.
It's not choline.
Usually not. No, they'll have other things.
147 milligrams.
How much?
147.
Yeah, so if you ate
quite a bit,
if you ate like 4 eggs a day, you're
a minimum.
You're great
of 4 eggs a day.
Yeah,
you want to be eating at least 4 eggs a day.
Whole eggs, not egg whites.
Right, 4 whole eggs a day in order to get the kind of balance. Because you're saying 500 to 2,000 milligrams.
That's right.
So you would need at least 4, and you could do with more even.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Doug, find other sources of choline. If I'm not mistaken, organ meats, I believe, are high in choline. Choline's interesting too because it can be considered a cognitive boosting supplement. Like if you combine choline with, a lot of people take it with caffeine.
Creatine, maybe.
No, they'll take it with caffeine, and caffeine, theanine, and choline is like a great stack for something like that. What does it say for food, Doug?
Eggs, obviously the first one. Legumes such as beans and peas, vegetables, cruciferous ones like Brussels sprouts, broccoli, etc. Canned tuna and salmon.
Yeah. Okay. But here's the deal: how many legumes would you need to eat to get? Whenever they mention a plant source of a nutrient, it's high in the context of other plants.
You need to eat like this whole room amount.
Yeah, like I'd like to see like how much. Doug, look up how much choline is in whatever bean they name.
Yeah, I bet 4 eggs is double or triple what
let's see.
Pound of beans are.
Let's see, because I know there's certain vegetables like this is a high protein vegetable. It's like you have to eat 3,000 calories.
All the gastral distress.
Yeah, to get all of that. So I'd like to see what that says with choline. But I do know that the data on cognitive function and brain health in choline is pretty remarkable.
Okay, so a cup of cooked kidney beans contains 54.
54.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
So
You
You have to eat 10 cups
you
at
have to
least.
have 10 cups to do
Yikes.
do what 4 eggs would do.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Okay. You're
Yeah,
not
that-
eating 10 cups of kidney
That's
beans.
just so. This is just across the board. By the
You
way,
get a nice turbo boost.
Yeah.
plants have phytonutrients and antioxidants, which are amazing in certain cases. But when you're talking about nutrients like vitamins and minerals in particular, plants, you either you get a version of it that is not as absorbable or bioavailable. For example, vitamin D. You can get a form of vitamin D in mushrooms, but it's not nearly as bioavailable as vitamin D like you would get in, like, let's say, like cod liver, for example. And this is true for a lot of different types of nutrients. So when they say, here's some sources of choline and you see plants, keep in mind that those are typically in the context of other plants, not in the context of where you would actually get a decent dose of that particular nutrient. Same thing with like omega-3 fatty acids, flaxseed oil.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's great, but your body has to convert that to the usable form, which means a big chunk of it isn't being used versus like fish oil, which gives it to you. And then we have grape seed extract. This actually improves blood pressure and blood flow. There's a 2016 meta-analysis found that grape seed extract alone lowered systolic blood pressure by 6. So
and I'm assuming that's the only place you get it.
Is where?
From grape seeds.
Yes.
Okay.
So, yeah.
That's interesting because when you think about a lot of the other nutrients that we talk about, there tends to be multiple sources that you can get this specific nutrient. This happens to be something
Just grapeseed.
that you have to take that extract, and there's nothing else that replaces that.
Yeah, and I know there's other uses for grapeseed extract. I know
it's blood pressure.
it's got anti-inflammatory effects. I know it has, but again, it's like
They tend to put steroids with it.
no,
Yes.
that's not grapeseed.
Yes, isn't that-
grapeseed oil?
It's not the same thing.
No, dude. No, I do. And again, I pick these supplements because I bet you most listeners of ours take supplements. Most of them probably take creatine, and if you don't, I don't know what's wrong with you.
Yeah.
Probably take protein powder.
Maybe fish oil.
They might take vitamin D. I don't think they take any of these other supplements. And
I don't think so.
They're all backed by data.
I use Legion's vitamin D, so
Which has the
it has the
K2.
K2. So I do take that one, but all the rest of them, I'm most interested. I mean, this has been a fun conversation because I do want to play with the glycine. I would love to try that little stack. I'm always looking for cool little bedtime to help me like go to sleep or calm down and stuff like that. So that'd be interesting. And you a certain amount of time before bed, you like take it? Is it okay?
No, right before bed.
Like right before?
Yeah, just right before bed. You can wait 30 minutes or whatever, but just right before.
Is there
bed.
any? Is it bad if I do it like? Because sometimes I'll take mellow kind of early, like meaning like 7 o'clock or like that to just like mellow me out to head into the night. Any drawbacks? I mean,
I don't know. Good question. I know in the studies they take
because sometimes things like if you take like that,
like melatonin.
yeah, and then it passes, and then it's almost like it's worse because you missed that window.
I don't know. That's a good question. I know in the studies they'll give glycine to people about 30 minutes before bed, typically.
Okay.
I just keep it next to my bed on my bedstand or nightstand, I should say.
Is it powder or pill form you're taking?
capsule?
Capsule.
Yeah, 3,000 milligrams. I think I take like
This is
three or
perfect.
four
So
capsules.
I could like take it out. I make like a little shot of the mellow.
Yeah.
and then
and
shoot
then
it
take
with
a
it.
few capsules with it.
Okay,
and
I'll report back.
and you're totally done. All right, I know you liked that episode. If you did, check this one out. One of the keys to fat loss is protein. It's true. If you're not eating a high protein diet, you're not going to burn as much body fat as you can. So in today's episode, we're going to talk about the smartest ways to use protein for fat burn and to build muscle. You got to watch this.
I wish I understood this earlier in my career. I think it was probably almost 10 years in when I
Same.
started to just focus on this with clients.
I knew it was important,
Yeah.
but I don't know how important.
Yeah, I knew it was important, but I also didn't